Hello, good afternoon. Welcome back to My Opinion Matters. Kamusta ang araw ninyo? So today is Saturday and every Saturday I am doing actually a live stream of this program entitled My Opinion Matters on my YouTube channel. It's John Padillon. So good afternoon to all my subscribers and good afternoon for those who are new on this channel. You are actually watching the My Opinion Matters here's on my YouTube channel, John Padillon. So we thank the Lord for this wonderful day, and we thank Him for making us healthy and for making us alive and free and safe from the COVID-19. And also, let us continue to pray for each other, most especially for those people who are directly infected, no, of this COVID-19, and also let us pray for those people who have lost their business, the source of their income, and also their jobs. All right. So today is a very beautiful day, and today we will discuss another important and relevant topic, no? And the title of the topic is what we call engaging students in an online class. All right. So first of all, no, because we are still in the pandemic, and I know you will agree with me that the educational system that we are using right now, and the all countries in the world all countries in the world are actually they're using what we call online education. Huh? And in our country, this is new to us. No, it is a new educational system because we are actually brought up, no, with what we call face-to-face education, and that is actually the type of education that we had before this pandemic. But because of this pandemic, we are doing an online education, and right now we have been experiencing a lot of difficulties, no challenges in terms on how to deliver instructions and lesson via online education. And we are using different platforms, no? The public schools, no, they're commonly using Facebook Messenger. They are also using the what you call it, Google Meet, no, and then Zoom, no, as well in the private school, no. Most of them are actually using Facebook, Google Classroom, the Zoom, and the Google Meet. So these are the platforms, no, technology platforms that will help us to deliver, no, effectively and efficiently the instruction, the online education, and the lesson, the content, and the assessment to our students, no, who are staying right now in the respective homes. And as we conduct the online class, no, it is very important for all of us now to ask ourselves, no, most especially the teachers and also the parents, no, while we are doing what we call the online education, no, the question that we need to know, no, is how are we going to make our lesson engaging to our students. And later on, I will discuss to you the different ways on how we can engage or hook up or get the interest and attentions of our students right now who are doing the online classes. Okay, so first of all, let us try to define, okay, the word engage. So what do we mean by the word engage? Now, in the Microsoft Encarta, when you say engage, is to involve somebody in an activity or become involved or take part in an activity. So that is engage, the definition coming from the Microsoft Encarta. So engage means that you need to give in yourself. No, you have to open and to give your efforts and your time, and you need to involve yourself in doing a particular task or activity. So that is engagement according to Microsoft Encarta. On the other hand, okay, let us take a look with the definition of the word engage according to Association for Supervision for Develop what you call it, the ASCD, no, Association of Supervision for Curriculum and Development. So according to ASCD, by the way, ASCD, they are the proponent of what we call the whole child approach, no. And this whole child approach was conceptualized, no, if I'm not mistaken, way back 2017. But the organization itself, the ASCD, the Association for Supervision for Curriculum Development, they are already existing. They are already existing even before the Second World War. No, but it was 2017 when they conceptualized the whole child approach. And for them, engage has a different meaning. And this is the operational meaning of engage according to ASCD. And the context is engage in a classroom setting. So according to them, when you say engage, according to ASCD, it is an active participation and connected to the school and broader community. So if you will compare, no, the definition of ASCD to the Encarta is only focusing on the action, no, of the verb, of the things that you need to do in or when you are engaging yourselves, no. But in the ASCD operational definition, there is a value laden. And what is that value laden? It is to connect our student to school and broader community. So engagement does not only happen within the four corners of the classroom. Engagement does not only happen in an online Zoom meeting, but engagement also transgress, no, it comes out, no, it happens also outside of the classroom, outside of the Zoom meeting, and outside of the school. That's why to engage our student according to ASCD, we need to expose them and to help them be connected to their community, not only to the school community, but also in the broader community. So that is the definition of engagement for coming from the ASCD. Okay, now, so the question will be, what are the things that engage the time and energy of our children at present? So this is now an essential question that we need to explore. So what are the things, what are the activities that our students, that our children are being engaged with? Okay? Now, I have here several datas, no? And I would like to share this information and data to you regarding the primary, these are the common, the popular activities that our students and our children are engaged in at present. Okay, so number one, all right, according to this, okay, there are 75, no? I'm sorry. Okay. So there are 43 million gamers in the Philippines, spending a total of $572 million. This makes the Philippines number 29 worldwide in terms of game revenue. So we can see that a lot of our Filipino learners, okay, and also adults, no, Filipinos, okay, they are into what we call mobile games. And according to this data, 43 million gamers in the Philippines, no? If you're going to ask me how many people, okay, what is the latest population rate, no, population number of Filipinos at present. According to the data that I have read the other day, no, right now there are already 113 million Filipinos. Okay? Because last time, no, if you are aware, they conducted what we call the census, no, last time, and I know that some of you were able to be visited by this representative coming from population commission from the census, right? And they ask question from you because last time, last month, no, if I'm not mistaken, they already conducted the census process of counting in the population of our country. And the data that which I read last time, no, from 110 right now at this moment, we are already 113 million people or Filipinos in the Philippines. And relating that to this data, there are 43 million, meaning out of 113 million people, there are 43 Filipinos who are engaged and hooked up with mobile games. Okay? So that's a lot. 43 million Filipinos are hooked up and engaged in mobile games. And when we talk about the time, the duration or the span, the time and the hours that they're spending in actually playing the game, that's another issue, no? How much time, how many hours do these people, do these Filipinos are devoting, no, are using in order to play those mobile games, okay? And let us check this data, all right, still in the mobile games. So one of the popular mobile games in the Philippines is the Mobile Legend. I know for some of you, no, you have actually downloaded sa Play Store yung Mobile Legend. Did you know that there are already 75 million Filipinos active players of Mobile Legends, no? And it has 500 million downloads. So nakikita natin to, no? 75 million people or Filipinos are actually playing mobile game. Mind you, a while ago, the current, the present population in our country is 113 million Filipinos. And there are 75 million Filipinos who are engaged, who are hooked up and playing mobile legends, okay, using their cell phone. So this thing is something that is very important for us to know. Now, another popular mobile games in the Philippines is the Dota. Now, according to this data, there are 11 million active players of Dota in the Philippines. See? So we're talking about 11 million people, 11 million Filipinos who are playing Dota in the Philippines. Okay? Next, let's check this data. Okay. So there are 555 million players of PUBG Mobile worldwide. So this is another popular mobile games that is being played in the Philippines, no, most especially among the youth, no, at present, our student and children. And according to this data, 555 million players of PUBG worldwide. This is not only in the Philippines, but this is around the world. And 50 million are playing daily. Okay? So that is a lot in terms of the mobile games that Filipinos are playing. Mobile games are the activities that Filipinos, our students and children are engaged with. Okay? There is another thing, and that is the social media. Now, if you're going to check this data, these data that I am presenting to you are important for us to know because it is very important for us to know what are the activities, what are the things that our children, our students are engaged with. Now, according to this data, there are 74 million Filipinos who are Facebook users in 2019. So this data is from 20 was taken last year, and that is 2019. And there are already 74 million Filipinos. And we are and this year, I believe that it increases, no? It increases. Now, because of this pandemic, no, and most people have stayed on their respective homes. So I do believe that this data from 74 million this year, I know that it increases, no? But we will try to check the latest data for this year. But last year, there are 74 million Filipinos who are already Facebook users in 2019. And there are 4.14 billion in the world. So try to imagine 4 billion users of Facebook in the world. Now, if you're going to ask me, okay, how many or what is the population of what is the world's population? How many people are in the world right now? Approximately, there are what we call 7 billion people in the world. Okay, so that is the latest. There are already 7 billion people or individuals in the world. So that is the global population. That is the world's population of people in the world, 7 billion. And try to imagine, out of 7 billion people in the world, 4 billion of them are using Facebook. So social media, Facebook in particular, is very powerful platform that gives us information and allows us to communicate with the rest of the world, diba? With other people in the rest of the world. So it makes the world small. It creates bridges, no? It creates what you call this opportunities for all of us to talk or to communicate with the rest of the world. Okay? And 4.14 billion people in the world are actually, they have Facebook on their computer and mobile cell phone or cell phones and tab. Okay? But in the Philippines, 74 million Filipinos who are actually Facebook user. No? And what is fascinating about Facebook? No? Let's talk about Facebook because this is actually a very hot issue in the Philippines. No? Now, in the Philippines, there are 74 million Facebook users out of 113 million population in a very useful technology or platform in our country. Are the things that you can read and see and watch on the Facebook. Okay? When I say what are the things, what are the characteristic of the content? Okay? Mind you that in the Facebook, if you are 18 years old and below, okay, there is what we call condition, there is a requirement that when you are going to create your Facebook account, you should be 18 years old and above. But the question is, how come there are many children who are minors and not yet 18 years old and yet they have accounts in the Facebook? So there is already a breach in the security because the Facebook allowed these children to create their Facebook account. So what happened to the background checking? Okay? So that is the question. And another thing, okay, how safe and how interesting or how what we call in terms of morality, in terms of ethical aspect, how safe are the information, how true and how verifiable are the informations that we are seeing and that we are reading in the Facebook or on the Facebook, di ba? There's a lot of content. Everyone can post, everyone can publish everything on the Facebook. And that is the danger because there is no means for us to proofread. There is no means for us to what we call check if everything that are posted on the Facebook are true, verifiable, okay, and it promotes what you call this positive values and correct morality. Okay. And who should do that? It is the Facebook company. Diba? There are different incident, of what we call yung mga cyberbullying, di ba? What else? Fake account that belittling or destroying the name or image of other people. These are some of the negative activities, that are commonly happening on the Facebook. Oh. So there is already the issue of security. I'm not saying that Facebook is actually bad. Where in fact Facebook is really a big help to online education, Malaki tulong 'yan, most especially right now that schools in the Philippines are actually on Messenger and Facebook in terms of the delivery of the lesson, and at the same time with communicating with their student, So Facebook actually is a big help for this country. But what I am telling you right now is I think this is the time for the Facebook company to review their protocols in terms of security, their security protocols. And it's about time for the Facebook company to really implement the the safety protocols in order to establish security and to maintain the security of all the Facebook users, people in the world who are using Facebook. And in the Philippines, there are 74 million people who are Facebook users, and they deserve to have secure. They actually deserve to be safe and secured every time that they will use the Facebook. So yan. Now, another data. There are 1.5 billion downloads of TikTok app around the world. So aside from Facebook, this is another activity where students and our Filipinos are engaged with. The TikTok, di ba? TikTok is actually developed by Chinese, and right now it was already banned in America because it was made by the Chinese, because there is what we call conflict, that is actually happening between China. It's a competition. It's an economic, political, military power, interest competition happening between Trump and Xi Jinping of China. Okay, but we will discuss that conflict in other sessions that we will have. So there are 1.5 billion downloads of TikTok application around the world. And in the Philippines, we are aware that TikTok is very popular. Without TikTok, life will become boring in the Philippines, most especially during the times that we are in the lockdown, di ba? Most of us, we are being entertained, di ba? We find TikTok very relaxing. no? There's a sense of enjoyment every time that you are doing TikTok. That's why in the social media, there's a lot of videos, no? Of TikTok videos circulating, no? Being posted on the social media. So TikTok, no? In the psychological perspective, this can really help a person or individual to find sense of enjoyment, entertainment, and relaxation. And I think there's no problem with that. That is just a human nature, no? Most especially in the we Filipinos, despite of the difficulties of life, we still have managed, no? We can still manage to find entertainment and relaxation that makes us smile, di ba? So that is what we call resilience, no? That makes us different from other nation, from other race, no? From other nationalities, I mean. Filipinos are very resilient because despite of hardship in life, we can still manage to smile. And TikTok is actually one tool or platform that gives entertainment to Filipinos at present. Okay? Now, another, there are 5 point. Okay. All right, where is it? Okay. So another is there are 5.08 million Filipinos, no? Wait lang. Okay. 5.08 million Filipinos using Twitter. Okay? 63 are female and 37% are male. So Twitter is like Facebook. So there are 5 million Filipinos who are actually using Twitter in our country. Okay, now another data. All right. So this one, there are 11 million people can be reached by Instagram ads. 64% female and 36% male. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, these are several of the popular social media platforms that Filipinos, our children, students, and also the Filipinos, no, the adults are being engaged and hooked up. Okay, and the time that they use and the time that they spend actually in social media is not actually a joke. Why? Okay, in 2019, in the Facebook, Filipino, this is the average time when Filipinos spend or use in the Facebook 4 hours and 12 minutes. So that is the average. So according to this data, the average Filipino who are using the Facebook, they spend 4 hours and 12 minutes. Okay, that's the average time that they spend in Facebook. And 75 million users around the world, 75 million users, 53% are female and 47% are actually male. So they spend 4 hours and 12 minutes a day. This is the average time of Filipinos who are using the Facebook every day. And we are actually ranked one, if I'm not mistaken, no, in Southeast Asia, we are ranked one in terms of the number of hours that we spend in using Facebook application. So 4 hours actually is not a joke. In the span of that hours, the span of 4 hours, that can you can actually use the 4 hours of time in reading books, okay, or in doing household chores, okay. And there is also unhealthy if you are seated actually 4 hours. That can already affect badly your health. The employment, no, they, if I remember it correctly, there is a memorandum coming from the Colle wherein if you're taking 30 minutes already or 1 hour, you need to stand and you need to do some stretching. Practice if you are seated in a long hour. Okay, you need to move around and you need to stretch your body so that you will maintain the normal flow or circulation of your blood in your body, and at the same time you will be able to exercise your joints and muscles, because this things, no, this part of our body should be exercised, should be used in order to physically move, not to stay sedentary, okay, or doing nothing. All right? So that is very important. Now, this is one that I like. Okay. But this is something that we need to know, and something that we should be proud of and be happy. According to Catholic News Agency in 2018, there are 72% of adults are reading the Bible, and more than 55% youth reported reading the Bible. So this is something that we need to be proud of. So despite that many young Filipinos are engaged in social media, are engaged in mobile game, still 55% of young adults, of youth, Filipino youth are actually reading the Bible. And 72% of adults are reading the Bible. That is why Bible still is the number one book, the best-selling book in the country and the rest of the world. Okay? Now, so how do we use the word engagement or engage in an educational perspective? Because I presented to you the different activities, no, the different platforms, the different things where students, our student and children are being engaged with. Okay? Those are the activities and the things where they spend most of their time. But we need to teach our children to budget their time. They should not, okay, waste or allot more of their time in a day in social media and playing computer or mobile game. No, that should not be the culture and the habit that we should teach and to be formed among our students. We need to what? We need to teach them, no, how to engage. So that is the question now. All right. So how can we actually engage? All right. So the question will be, how can we now engage our students, our learners, no, in an online class? Because we do not want them, no, to spend more their time in playing mobile games and also browsing, scheming on the social media. So right now, our task, the question that we need to explore, no, and to find solution is how can we engage our students in an online class. So I am now, okay, referring this question to the students who are watching right now. Good afternoon. Okay. To the parents who are also watching. please do share this video, okay, and please subscribe on my YouTube channel so that we will be able to help each other to improve our Okay, thank you. I'm sorry for that. No, I think I had a problem with my able to it again. So go question, we engage our students in an online class. All right. So the following suggestions that I am about to present to you are actually the done a thesis entitled okay, the whole child approach, no? And these informations that I'm going to present to you right now are the suggestions, no, coming from the ASCD, and these suggestions are already tested, no? I use all these suggestions when I conducted my thesis, my research on the whole child approach. Okay, so there are one, two, three, four. There are actually five, okay, five meaningful, five important suggestions or ways on how we can engage, no, our students, our learnings every time that we are doing an online classes. Okay, so the first one, let's begin. Okay, so the first one, in order to engage our student according to ASCD, no, we have to use active learning strategies such cooperative learning and project-based learning. Now, this is something that will give us limitation because we are doing an online education. So the question is, how are you going to instigate, or how are you going to use cooperative learning, okay, in an online class, di ba? Oh, now in the Zoom, you can actually group in your students because there is a feature in Zoom wherein you can cluster them, you can group them. But in the Facebook Messenger and also in the platform like Google Meet, you cannot group your students. So possible in the Zoom meeting, no, you can actually make use of cooperative learning or group activities because the Zoom has its picture you can group where you can group your student, no, but the limitation is you only have 40 minutes, no, in using the Zoom tool or platform. Okay, so you have to make the activities, no, the group activities very simple, concise, so that you will make use of your 40 minutes properly. Okay, but all right, even in the asynchronous, meaning an offline. Yeah. Okay. So meaning even if the students are already doing an offline a class or the module type, no, in the blended learning, they're already answering the module, still we can give them activities that will promote and support active or cooperative learning. We can still group them, di ba? So they can communicate among themselves using Messenger. All we need to do is to give them problem. That's why project-based learning. This is very important because here you will have to give a project, a specific task or activity wherein your student can do it by group or individual. So that is very important kasi in an online education, no, the most important evidence that our learning from our class is when they actually show the things that they have learned, and you can actually use project-based learning. That can be one we can to make sure that our students are really learning and comprehending from. Now, in the cooperative learning, like I said, this can be done online. Well, it has a limitation, but it can be also used during asynchronous or offline learning. So student among themselves, they can call, they can message each other, as long that the teacher should give a project or activity or task that the students or the group will or asynchronous portion, of their learning. Okay? And by doing so, that is what we call proactive learning strategies. Okay? And that is very important. Is to ensure that our student will engage they during our online class. So these are strategies. This is very important. The strategies that we need to use for our student, cooperative, and should be based on project-based learning. Okay. Now, number two. Okay. Suggestion. All right. Real world global relevance and application of learning content. Okay, so this is very important also. So how do we promote the understanding? No, how do we strengthen the understanding of our students in terms of the real world? Okay, how are we going to do this? Okay, we need to teach them, number one, what we call social and emotional skills. Okay, according to the research conducted by Farrington and others in 2012, okay, they integrated in their activities, in the development of the content, in the development of academic skill, they integrated the social emotional skills. Okay, and these are activities that are related, that are actually strengthening the empathy of our student. What else? Activities that will strengthen the the conflict management skill of our student, the activities that will strengthen or enhances the critical thinking of our student, and also these are activities that will strengthen the what we call the literacy, the political literacy of our students. No, so these are the activities that will help your class, that will help your student to be engaged in the activities that we are going to use or to give during our online classes. So basically, when you integrate social emotional skills, you are actually preparing or exposing your children, your student to the real world. Okay? Because what is the characteristic of social emotional skills? These are what? These are the experiences of life experiences actually of people, di ba? Ito yung mga bagay na may kinalaman, sa ating apektibo, okay? Sa paraan ng pamumuhay, sa paraan ng relasyon natin sa bawat isa. And these are very important, learnings or skills that our students should learn at present. And it will be very helpful of us to expose our student to the real world. Kasi should be lifelong. Education is not something that you memorize, but education is something that you need to experience, and you need to what? To know the relevance of what you are learning at present and how you will apply it in your present daily lives. Diba? Problem solving is also part of social emotional skills, and that should be learned by our students. Okay? Now, next, number 3. So we are in the third suggestion, activities to help our student deepen their understanding of what they are learning and why they are learning it. Okay, so that is very important. Now, let's try to dissect meaning of the classes. So that is what will be the better or the appropriate solution, no, and recommendation that they can give in order to solve the problem and to answer a specific question posted by the teacher. So that is what we call inquiry based learning. Okay, yun yung inquiry. Next, what about the experiential learning? Now, in the experiential learning, no, when you say experiential learning, you are experience of the learner. Okay, you are considering, all right, the prior knowledge and also the life experience of our learner. The experiential learning is the same as the pragmatic educational theory of John Dewey, di ba? I know that some of us, if not all, we are familiar with the pragmatic education or pragmatic learning theory of John Dewey, di ba? Learning by doing. So basically, in relation to experiential learning, our student will best learn the activities or the lesson if you are going to incorporate hands-on activities. So that is experiential learning task. There should be hands-on learning by doing. Now, the more they do the hands-on, you are actually helping them to engage. And the more they do the hands-on activity, there is what we call the trial and error. Di ba? May trial and error. If they fail in the first time, it's okay because they will find a way on how to modify and to correct, no, to correct their mistake. So that is, there is what we call reflection na of their action, di ba? So there is what we call reflection of their action in the experiential learning, and we are teaching our student now to do the importance of hands-on or learning by doing. So these two learning pedagogy, the inquiry and then the experiential learning, these two should be the guide that we should use, which whenever we are going to give or we are going to construct, no, or to prepare activities for our students, no, during an online class. And this will deepen their understanding on what they are learning and why do they need to learn. Okay? So it's very important that the student should know the reason why they need to learn that particular knowledge or concept and skills. Okay? Okay. And this is the last one. All right. So the last is we have to promote and reinforce responsible environmental habits. okay, through recycling, trash management, sustainable energy, and other effort. Based from my experience, every time that I am integrating social issues in my class, every time that I am integrating mga issues related to environment, to economy, issues related to socio-political or economic, okay, and the like, students are being excited. So it's talagang economic issue and even environmental issues. Even yung family relations, they are also interested about it. So if we're going to formulate questions that are contextualized, di ba? When I say contextualize, these are questions that will able our student to relate themselves. Okay, that is a question that will help your student relate on the lesson. So that is very important because sometimes most of the questions that we are giving to our student are mainly theoretical and they are what? They are only concept. But in the contextualization, you are actually integrated life experiences question. And these are more important than the normal question or the logical or what we call theoretical or sometimes yung mga knowledge questions that we are giving to our student. So you have to understand, okay, and remember that every time that we are going to give question to our student in instigating in encouraging them to be engaged in the classroom interaction or Zoom interaction or online interaction, it is very important for us to give questions that are contextualized. We need to consider in our question the life experiences of your student, okay? The life experiences of other people. That will make the question contextualized so that the student can relate themselves to the question. And that is actually being realistic, diba? And relevant. Uh, that is making realistic and relevant the questions, and that is preparing our student in a real world situation. Okay, so perhaps we can actually give question that will promote, reinforce the environmental habits on how they need to take good care of the environment. Because in my last discussion, if you were able to watch it, di ba? Ah, uh, I already discussed how what you call this, the how serious are the environmental destruction and degradation of our earth. That is why these are the real issues that we need to give or to our student to be exposed with, because they need to learn how to take good care of the environment, di ba? We can also give question related on the physical wellness or mental wellness of our student, okay? And not only that, so there are a lot of question. There's a lot of question that we can use in order to contextualize the discussion. Another thing is we need to use localized question. So when you say localization, you are actually giving question an example that are exclusive to that particular community. So I am referring to the ethnic groups, to the minorities, di ba? Whether it is a major group or the minor groups, it is very important that we have to be sensitive in terms of the cultural differences of our students. So giving question, localized question, it means that you need to give question that our student will also, that our student can also relate in terms of their cultural orientation and cultural tradition. Okay, so that is the question. Thank you very much, no? So, is fluctuating. The reason why a while ago there is a black that I was able to go to. And thank you for always supporting this channel. Okay, so thank you, and please share this video and subscribe. And don't forget that every session, and if you have comments and suggestion and question, you are free to please is in your mind. You just type that on the chat box, and I'll be willing to explain or to answer and to entertain all your queries and your suggestion. And remember that every Saturday, same time, every Saturday from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m., I am doing a live stream on my opinion matters. And I believe that this discussion will help more people, and this will allow to increase or to elevate the content of YouTube. And I hope that you are also following me on my media account. My Facebook in particular is also John Padillon. Okay, because I am also posting all the videos there, the recent or the previous videos that I already have, that I uploaded on my YouTube channel. It is also being posted on my Facebook account. So just in case that you were not able to watch the other videos that I have, you just visit John Padillon. That's the name of my YouTube channel. And thank you very much, Please do share and subscribe. And please always remember, this is what I am telling to all my subscribers and followers. Thank you very much for your support, and God bless you all. Always remember, my dear friends, even though how life difficult is, always remember that God alone is enough, and that is according to Saint Teresa of Avila. So thank you very much for watching. Please do share and subscribe, and I'll see you once again next Saturday in another round of this meaningful discussion dito lang sa aking YouTube channel, John Padillon, and I'll see you next week again on this On My Opinion Matter. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.